So the internet is coming and going today. So I'm not sure what is actually going to happen. Because it says we're streaming. Just not sure for how long. So if you jump in, say hi immediately. Get our talking in now. I don't think this is going to be a long session. Session. There's Mr. Frank. Hopefully the internet stays up, Frank. It's been dropping like crazy all morning. And it goes in and out for like a few minutes. But I know that's going to totally screw up Twitch if it drops. Because then I'm going to have to, I don't think it'll, I'm not sure it will reconnect. Skeet Ulrich? Whatever happened to that guy, right? That explains your solid, creamy, smooth stream at the moment. Is it good? I have no problems on my end. But it's dropped, I don't know, in the last hour probably about 10 times. And right when I'm doing stuff. Right in the middle of answering an email, and all of a sudden, then Gmail is just like, we need to reconnect. Has anyone ever even bothered to ask Skeet if he's related to Lars? I don't know. It's an excellent question, though. I would imagine, right? I mean, they almost look identical. Pretty sure Walton Goggins is related to the both of them. I hope so. We watched another 3 or 4 episodes of the Shield last night. Again, no idea why I never watched it back in the day, 20 years, more than 20 years ago. Skeet Goggins. There's your new character name. There you go. Skeet Goggins. You know what, Frank? I'm writing that shit down. You laugh. I'm going to write that shit down. You never know when you need a good backwoods poacher. And that's what I'll be writing next. So. Always coming through. Always coming through. But no matter what happens, I still will be writing. Because I have this, the Google Docs set on offline as well. So that I don't miss anything if it just drops. That's a great name, it is. There's Chad Lutsky. Afternoon to you, Chad. I was just telling Mr. Frank that my internet has been dropping like crazy today, so I might lose this soon. Skeet is a debonair game warden. Game warden with a heart of gold. A stripper with a heart of gold. That ends up just being a stripper with a regular heart. Eats Dunkin'. Well, you gotta eat Dunkin' every day. Although it's set in... this book will be set in Florida. This next series will be in the Everglades. And there aren't a ton of... This isn't New Jersey where there's a Dunkin' on every corner. Maybe I'll change it up and I'll have him go to a local restaurant. Eats gator tail every day. Gator jerky. There's Amanda Ward. You got your daughter keeping busy or something? That what's going on? Taking a nap? Wish I was taking a nap. She put her outside. Then she melted from the 9 billion degrees out. Another friend is over. That's your move for the summer? Invite all your friends over. One each day, and then mommy can actually get work done. And not have to do all this. And then the other mom. The good part is then at some point you will ship her out to another house. You'll have a whole day to yourself. 5 guys named Skeet, an environmental conservation thriller. Frank, this is just writing itself. It's sort of working. Good. Very good. So Frank, you were talking about, and again, Amanda, I don't know about you over on you're in the fancy section of Jacksonville. So I don't expect it to happen to you, but my internet keeps dropping like crazy this morning, so I might just be gone at some point. Michael O'Connell, I have no idea what side of town you live on. Probably not as fancy as Amanda Ward does, but my internet keeps coming and going. So Speaking of Dunkin', my wife bought me these. I've had these before and I enjoy them. It's the only thing I will ever drink from them. Starbucks Frappuccino. This is the vanilla. They were like buy one get one free or something like that. So I'm gonna drink this up today. It's a Frappuccino chilled coffee drink. And again, these are good. These are the only things I've ever had. My daughter bought me one of these a couple years ago, and I was like, "It's Starbucks. I'm not drinking that." She's like, "You'll like it," and I actually did. My internet is always spotty in my office. Well, it drops for like 5 minutes at a time, so if I'm just suddenly gone, you'll know what happened. He lives on the side of town. That is true. I forgot about that. I'm not a huge fan of vanilla, but it tastes good. It has an ice cream taste to it, which I like. We don't have a Dunking or Five Guys in my town. A Dunking? You don't have a Five Guys either? I figured Five Guys just basically had every single town in the world now. Or Dunkin'. What's the big, so far, no inner issues. Good. Chad, what's the big coffee? Do you have, you're close enough to Canada. Do you have, like, what is it, Tim Hortons? Do you have Starbucks up there? Like, what's the big coffee chain in your neck of the woods? We had a Dunkin' up until a handful of years ago. I bet Chad lives in an area where you go to a place called Grundy's for coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna guess. Yeah, something like it's gonna be something like that. It's some whatever the big gang is in Detroit now. That's be they'll be there. M15 Crips coffee. It looks really hot outside. High UV now as well. It says so. We have Big B Coffee, Hortons, as well as Starbucks. But my town's main concern seems to be setting the record for how many dispensaries they can cram into a town with 52,000 population. Yeah. Yeah, we have Big B down here, I think. We don't have Hortons, although I've had it. You can buy the K cups, and obviously Starbucks tries to move in as well. Michael says, I used to love Dunkin'. I was raised on them by Yankee parents, but somewhere along the way they changed their donut recipe. Not a fan. If I'm eating donuts, I'll go to the donut shop in Arlington. I've never been there. I'm not a huge fan of, I mean, I like Dunkin' Donuts, but I'm not a huge fan. Like, I would rather have Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme is a better donut to me. But also my favorite, which I realize you can't get everywhere, is Entenmann's Devil's Food Cake Donuts at Publix. They are my absolute favorite donut. There's Tom Duffy. I want to drive to Virginia for a donut. It's further from here than there, so you know what? Good on you, Michael O'Connell, driving all the way from Jacksonville to Virginia for a donut. I guess San Jose isn't considered fancy either. Chug chug. There's a donut place going towards Jack's Beach that is pretty new. And we've passed it a few times, but we're going to dinner out that way, so it's always already closed. but everybody on Facebook says it's really good. We're gonna have to try that one of these days. I'm not really big on the fancy. Let's put Rice Krispies on donuts, and let's put all kinds of weird things on donuts. You know what I'm saying? Give me a chocolate glazed donut, and I'm happy. We have Sweetwater's Donuts. That must be a local over there, or I've never heard it. These donuts are fire, but they barely qualify as a donut. More like cake with a hole in it, so it's really Entenmann's Devil Food Bunt. Sonati's on Penman is good. Duck donuts are way too much like cake to me, too fancy. Yeah, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the fancy cakey donut. Amen. Chocolate glaze, or maybe an apple fritter or eclair. I've never had a duck donut. You're missing out, Mr. Frank. Amanda would always bring me an apple fritter with from Dunkin'. That's a phenomenal apple fritter. Is Dunkin' apple fritter? But then she stopped doing that because I told her to stop because I was losing weight. But now I'm not really. I'm losing weight, but not like I should be. But now we go to lunch, so it's all good. The problem is I don't leave the house during the day. Ms. Frank wants to know if Michael O'Connell also enjoys rice pudding. That's an interesting question right there. Page 2 of this, okay. Oh, I missed a few things here. Can we talk about McDonald's fried apple pies from the 70s, 80s? Those things were delicious, magical. I preferred the cherry pies when they had them. Those were good too. Just give me that steaming hot, dangerously crispy outside. And the inside, that was like lava. It was just delicious lava. Doesn't sound very appetizing, but I love a good bread pudding. Well, threw a little twist there. I also prefer the Hostess fruit pies. Wait, is Hostess the ones that came as 2 square pies and not one big frosted calzone looking pie? Yeah, I believe so. Those, if you're talking about those were friggin' delicious. The two smaller ones those were friggin' delicious. Every now and then we go to Publix and they'll have whatever company makes them now, there for like 50 cents. and I always pick up a couple because I like them, but I haven't done that in a while. I also haven't gone shopping in a while. The Hostess fruit pies were awesome, shaped like a calzone. Yeah, I've had. Every now and then we'll go to McDonald's and I'll say, "Hey, get me an apple pie," and it's not the same. And they're not bad, but they're not like they used to be. Man, those just deep fried, and it was just you're like, oh my God, these are so good. It's 1,000 degrees. I've just burned my throat. I can't speak. And I think they were doing chicken nuggets in this previously in this oil because I can taste them. Drake's fruit pies. Yes. Yes. Tom jumps in with the save. All those were just so good. Every now and then I see those like grandma's cookies, or I think they were called, that I used to get in. I used to get in junior high. I don't think they had them in my high school, and they were like the 2-pack or the 3-pack of the chocolate chip cookies, and they were just so delicious. And every now and then I'll see them again. They're in the brown wrapper, and I'm like, I gotta get these, and they're still just as good as I remember them at 12 years old. A lot of good foods out there that bring back some good memories. Speaking of memories, everybody, please resubscribe or subscribe. Use your Twitch Prime. Use whatever thing you need so you don't see 400 commercials. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube, where not only will these drop on later in the afternoon, but also I also have other stuff on there. There's a bunch of other videos and whatnot. So do that. I'm trying to get some more writing, and I had a very good day yesterday. I wrote on 3 different projects. I think like 2,500 words yesterday. I did 3,200 on Monday. So I've had a couple of really, really good days, and I'm gonna try to keep that going today as well. What helped yesterday is Tom had finished the next chapter in our book, and so I dove right in and wrote like almost 1,300 words in that. So that really helped push the count up. So I don't want to say I'm back. I'm back in my groove. I'm back in my slot, but it's getting there. I'm catching up. I figured out, because of course my fiscal writing year ends on the last day of September. So I got like 3.5 months, I think, until the year turns over for me. And I'm about 30,000 words behind in order to hit the 400,000 words. So if I pace myself now, I'd hit about 370,000 words for the year, which would probably be my lowest in several years. But obviously I want to get over that. I want to go over the 400 mark, especially with the stuff that I have on my board right now that I'm working on. And like this is Down and Dirty 2 I'm working on. I think it has a September release now. Pre-order is up. I'm at almost 46,000 words of 63,000. So in chapter 38, it should be 50 chapters. So got about another dozen chapters to go on this thing. So there you go. There you go. Ah, damn it. Hmm. So the yesterday the power tripped a couple times in the morning. And what it does, besides it resets everything, is it also knocks out the water sprinkler system, and then it resets itself. But it resets itself not for 1:20 in the morning anymore. 3 days a week. It resets for 1:20 in the afternoon, 7 days a week. And I just heard it kick on again. I did it yesterday. I told my wife I have no idea how to reset it. I told my wife, but I forgot to remind her last night. So now it is on again. And of course, it is very windy and it is very hot out. And I don't want to burn the grass out because the sprinklers are on. Who doesn't love a cheese blintz? Cheese blintzes can make a comeback with the proper rebranding. Yeah. I'm not a fan, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not bad. It was never a go-to for me. Yeah, it is freaking windy. So it's not even water in the grass. It's just water in everybody else's grass at this point. Oh, annoying. Rain coming in about 3.5 hours. I've just been told. So about 5 p.m. I hope you die before Shelley. So do I. Can you imagine? I've thought about that. If because you know me, I have a hard time with her going to Atlanta for 3 days. I have a hard time with her going to her mother's for like a week or two. I don't know what a blintz is, but you had me at cheese. Chad, I think you would like it. You seem like a cheese blintz kind of guy. It might not be a delicacy up where you are, but growing up in New Jersey, New York, it was a big New York thing. Yeah, she's got to go to her mom's the last Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of the month, 23, 24, 25. She's got to go to her mom's because her sister has to go to Texas for 3 days. And I'm worried that it's going to fall apart. It's basically mascarpone cheese rolled in a thin crepe. They're good. They're not one of my favorite things. They're not something I ever ask for. There's certain things that I never ask for, but all of a sudden I'll have them and I'll be like, you know what? These animal crackers are delicious. Why do we not eat more animal crackers? And then years go by before we have animal crackers. Don't know what mascarpone cheese is either. You live close enough to Wisconsin. You should know all the various cheeses. Every year on Thanksgiving when the stuffing is made, Armand, what do we not eat stuffing like every day of the week? Why do we not eat stuffing every day? I eat stovetop. I eat stovetop a lot, actually. I'm going to be honest with you. So her Shelley's grandmother always made her dressing. Because stuffing, you got to stuff in the bird. She just made dressing. You didn't stuff it in the bird. And it was delicious. Then her sister took over when her grandmother died a couple years ago, and it was not as good. She tried to make it like fancy, and I'm like, these are Southern people here that just want the same stuff that Granny had been making for like 100 years, and you're adding all kinds of weird shit in it, so it was not good at all. And then, not last Thanksgiving, but the year before, her sister, being her sister, just didn't show up. She had a headache or some bullshit, so she didn't make it. So we had, I always have like 5 and 6 boxes of stovetop stuffing. And so I was like, you know what? That's what we're making. So my wife made like 5 boxes of stovetop, and one person was like, I'm not eating this. And everybody else was like, it's good. And everybody ate it and ate all of it. So every now and then I'll just be like, you know what? I'm going to have stovetop for dinner. Nothing else. Just a box of stovetop. Delicious. I like how Mr. Frank is trying to throw all these different things at you, and it's just more and more confusing. Stovetop is one of the greatest things God has given us. You don't know who Al Capone is? No. My wife does not like stovetop because she's Southern. She also makes her own mac and cheese, which is friggin' delicious. But if you bring a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese in, she will flip out. But for me, I'm like, it's delicious. It's easy to make. A stovetop burrito. That sounds like something I'd make and love. That would be interesting. You just got to make sure it doesn't just, when you bite into it, it doesn't all fall out, you know? You'd have to wrap that pretty tight. My grandfather was friends with Al Capone's brother. There you go. See? Claudia, from the writers group who desperately wants to read Socks, she wrote about her grandfather and Al Capone. Is Al Capone like when you take Truman cheese and Capone cheese and mash them up? Yes, that's 100%. Now you finally understand what Mr. Frank is saying. I'm more of a Lucky Luciano cheese. I find it smoother. You know, it's summer here in Florida because even though we live in a civilized development with 300 and something houses, the all the kids have all of their four-wheelers that they race up and down the block. I'm like, why do you have that? Why did your parents buy that? You don't live out in the country. You're basically driving, weaving in and out of cars. I don't know. That I never understood. Skeet Capone. There you go. Skeet Goggins. Yeah, also we can't have the water running every freaking day. You know what my water bill's gonna be? City kills you. My electric is like $100. My water bill is like $200 and something. How many freaking books I gotta sell for that? Alright, I gotta get to this next page. That's my goal. They got Mars Kapanchu on tax evasion. Well, they could never get anything else illegal. I guess Nick Zinn isn't in town because got the next page here. Okay. Yeah, I'm really annoyed with this. With these sprinklers. It's literally, the wind is literally just lifting the the water like up into the air. Like we're watering halfway up the tree at this point. And this is like I think there's like 8 or 9 zones. And I think this is the front is the last zone. So this has been running for probably about an hour. I don't know why I'm so worked up over this. I prefer the finger licking taste of Ingve Malmsky cheese. I find that sometimes I find it too chaotic and loud, though. It does have an excellent Swedish taste to it, though. You got to give it that. Frank, we talked about Bon Jovi the other day, you and I. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to some of the stuff that the band has done in the last 20 years. As it, my part of my Jersey heritage, I should do that. And so I went through like any of like the last 400 albums that they've put out. And I looked at the based on the listens, like what was the 1 or 2 songs from each album that got the most listens. So those would be, I would imagine those would be the hits. Those would be the songs that people like the most. I figure you can't go wrong with that. If everything on the album is like 100,000 listens and then this one song is like 450,000 listens, well, that's got to be the hit song, right? That's got to be the one everybody loves. So I listened to those songs. And I found some songs that I was like, all right, that's a pretty good song. But then once I got to the next song, I couldn't remember what that last song was, which is not a good sign. Malmsky cheese tastes pretentious and overproduced. That's part of your Jersey heritage, yeah. But the boys from Lodi. And so I listened to, I don't know, about a dozen songs, and there was nothing that I was like, that's a great song, add it to the playlist. Bon Jovi has a deep catalog of hits, yeah. Like the first 5 or 6 albums, all hits. All the way up to literally to greatest hits. Every song to that point, I love. And then there's like hit or misses after that. I also listened to, they just released a new, 40th anniversary of Born in the USA. Springsteen. Like a dozen songs from different places from that 84 tour. Something like that. And I was, I listened to that as well. I was like, you know what? I was never a huge Springsteen fan growing up. I think because everybody else was. All of the older kids were all Springsteen fans. And I was just like, nope, screw Springsteen. I'm listening to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, man. I'm listening to the new Grim Reaper album. That's going to be bigger than Born in the USA. But now as I've become older and more mellow, I appreciate the boss. Even 99 in the Shade, still a good song compared to the... At least it's memorable compared to some of the stuff I was listening to. I saw an interview with Kip Winger recently. Newfound respect. Never been a Winger fan, but not only is that guy super cool, but he's extremely talented genius and highly misunderstood. Agreed. Me and Frank, huge Winger fans. I love a lot of the stuff. You know, he has all the big poppy hits, but there's a lot of really, really good deep cuts. And Reb Beach is a phenomenal guitar player. I mean, that dude's played, longest, what is it? The longest, besides David Coverdale, the longest active member in Whitesnake playing guitar for them. Even Secret Dreams. What the hell album is Secret Dreams on? And he can do ballet, and he can do ballet. He can do all those dance moves, and he can almost show his penis in Playgirl. All the things. They have that thing on A&E, maybe, the Rock Legends thing coming up. I think next week or the week after, like every week, they're doing Rock Legends. And it's Bret Michaels is the first one. And I'm like, we're going to do an hour of listening to Bret Michaels talk about himself. And you know there's going to be nothing brand new that you're going to learn on that at all. And like they're doing like Alice Cooper, they're doing Dee Snider, they're doing a couple other people, I don't even remember who. But I'm like, you're not going to learn anything new on these. I'll watch them. It's off of 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit. Off the top of my head, though, I don't remember that one. I mean, I'm sure if I play the song, I would know the song. I'd be like, oh yeah, I know that song. The title escapes me now. I like 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's a good album. I'm thinking out of all of their first, say, 5 albums, it might be the worst one. It's kind of they rushed that one to throw some songs on there and a couple of older songs that didn't get on the first album. My favorite album by them, which I've discussed before, is These Days. Because it is dark, and I was going through a divorce at the time when that thing came out. And I listened to it non-stop on cassette until it broke. Yes, and he could do ballet. Watching that interview, I felt bad for him being put in this hair metal box. He's a great guy. Haven't we seen enough of Bret? Yeah. She's only 48. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna learn about Bret? Like, you can see on the commercial, he's like, they told me to call my wife and kids because I only had moments to live or something stupid like that. I'm like, yeah, you were on your deathbed, but you still had your bandana on. Come on. Because you know damn well I got more hair on the top of my head than he does at this point. Like, I'm sure when the bandana comes off, all that fake hair also comes with it. I'm sure it's all just one piece. He has all his hair. I don't think so. I don't think so. There's no way that dude still has any hair. But what are they gonna talk about? There's nothing new. I'm gonna watch it. And then I'm gonna come on here. I think it's like on a Sunday night, might even be next Sunday. And then the Monday I'm gonna come on and say, I learned absolutely nothing new about Bret Michaels. He looks like Hulk Hogan when he takes it off. Probably. He's got that stupid mustache now. I don't like it. How about a show with enigmatic stars like Richie Blackmore, Geezer Butler, Steve Perry? Exactly. Give me some of the people that we haven't seen 1,000 times. You know what I mean? I can't remember what the other ones were, but I know Dee Snider is one. Big deal. We've seen a million things on Dee Snider. And Alice Cooper. How many times are we going to talk about Alice Cooper? And again, there will be nothing new. It will be an hour of kissing their ass. Tie Me Down, right. That will be a great one. I don't know if that would be a great one. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really sure about that one, but You know what I want to see? I want to see one on Vito Bratta of White Lion and why he quit music. That's the one I want to see. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they do these. It's kind of like serial killers. Oh, let's do a 5-part serial killer one. So we'll start with Ted Bundy. We'll do John Wayne Gacy. I mean, yeah, let's do the same 5 that we always do. Let's do all the ones that are the easiest ones to do. It's annoying. It is annoying. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we do one on the original guitar player from Bang Tango who quit before the first album was released? That's what I want to see. What's going on with that guy? Sparky Lyle. Yeah, let's do a rock one on Sparky Lyle. He had a phenomenal singing voice in the Clubhouse. You know, Rudy Sarzo, though, is another one that we've done a couple of different books on him. We've done a couple of other different things. You know what? Rudy Sarzo, you'd have to do like a 4-hour documentary, and that would only be listing all the bands that dude has played in. I want a Skeet Goggins one, too. Stumpy Joe. Let's do a Scott Ian one where he talks about the 87 bands that he's currently in. Good times, good times. Nigel Tufnell. That would be a good one. Are they doing another Spinal Tap movie? Or did I miss that one already? Tom Kiefer one would be interesting. Because he's still around. Mike Patton, that would be a weird one, right? That dude is weird. I like him, but the dude is weird. But then you'd have a lot of interviews with Scotty and, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Frank heard talk about it, so you know it's out there somewhere. Not sure why you need another Spinal Tap movie, though, be honest with you. You know, that's not a movie you need a sequel for. You know what I'm saying? They never made a second Jaws movie. Oh, wait, no, they did. Forget it. I'm suddenly very tired. It says 88 degrees, but I'm sure that means it's like 97. It does seem unnecessary. It seems like people need money. That's why they're going to do it. I'm sure tonight when my wife gets home, we have some dinner, and we'll probably watch another 2 or 3 episodes of The Shield. We are, I think, 10 episodes into season 1. I'm not sure how many episodes in each season there are, but SGJ just posted a pic of him on Twitter sporting a Kick shirt. Nice. Let's get a documentary about black metal, but only during the Viking and horses years. So, you're sick of seeing all the documentaries about the anti-Christian burning churches black metal stuff. You want to see the later stuff. You want to see when they were all Valhalla and blah, blah, blah. I would watch that. Kix was one of those bands that I probably saw about a dozen times. I once saw them at Hammerjacks in Baltimore in the late 80s, early 90s. I forget which album it was. It was before the album came out. It was like $5 to get in. A buddy of mine lived down there. He had just moved to Baltimore. He's like, hey, I got tickets. It sells out like immediately. Do you want to come down and go? And I was like, yeah, I'll hang out with the weekend with you. And they played like an hour of just new songs or parts of new songs. And they were like, we need an honest opinion on these songs. because we're going to be recording our new album, and we got like demos for like 30 songs, and we only need 10 of them. So tell us what you like and what you don't like. I thought that was pretty interesting. And then they played like a half an hour of all the hits at that time. That was before the Blow My Fuse. I think it was for Blow My Fuse, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of those songs. Have you guys seen Lords of Chaos? Yes, I have. Mr. Frank never saw Kicks with the kid from Home Alone. Oh yeah, Lords of Chaos. I was like, that dude from Home Alone was not in Kicks, but Lords of Chaos, yeah. Kicks I saw on one tour 3 times. I saw them at Club A. I saw them at the Fast Lane, and then I saw them at the Denellen Theater with Jet Boy opening all 3 shows. And the first one, I believe, was the Stone Pony, right? I think Stone Pony I went and I saw, and Jet Boy I had never even heard of at that point, and loved them. Went out and bought the album the next day, and then the next weekend I went, and so I saw them like 3 times, but I went and saw them because I was impressed with Jet Boy. The singer from Jet Boy, even though they're a San Francisco band, that dude was born in Lodi, New Jersey. Tom says, I'll play a random black metal playlist on Spotify. The second I hear Horse Hose, I skip it. Wow. Did you get to do drugs with Jet Boy? No, I was not. That was not my thing back then. I never got to meet them. They seemed very nice. I also remember when they tried to pick a fight with Motley Crue after the dude from Hanoi Rocks was killed by Vince Neil. But then because of Vince killing that guy, then the bassist, the hell was his name? Chad would know. Jaffa, something like that. The bass player joined Jet Boy. I'd listen to country before I would black metal. His brother, yeah, pretty much, yeah. My brother was into Jet Boy. He would have been doing drugs with them. My brother was busy at that point in his life. He was doing drugs with Dave from Monster Magnet. Him and Dave used to smoke a shitload of pot together. Skeet Jaffa, yes, you know, Skeet Jaffa. No, Macaulay Culkin's brother, Lord of Chaos. Yeah, it was the other talented Culkin. So many talented Culkins in this world. It's ridiculous. Skeet McCulkin, that was the one. If I ever have another kid, I'm naming that kid Skeet. Or another cat. Either way. Skeet J. McCulkin. Yes. I'm gonna have to listen to some Wyangui. I haven't listened to him in a while. My favorite Yngwie song is "You Don't Remember, I'll Never Forget." It's just a good song. Just a solid poppy song. If your last name is Culkin, you're going places. I agree. Ooh. I had Caesar salad for lunch and I'm burping it up now. Whatever happened to Rising Force? I think they're working at the car wash in Sweden now. That's the only song I've ever heard. Oh, really? See, I figured you mentioned him a couple times. I figured maybe you were an Yngwie fan. My buddy Russ was a huge Yngwie fan because he was a musician. And that first couple of albums, all the instrumental crap, he would play constantly. And I was just like, yeah, you can listen to this like once or twice. Like, listen, I get it. You know, Steve Vai, phenomenal guitar player. I don't want to listen to him all that crap. over and over. Yeah, it's good the first time. Give me some lyrics. Give me something catchy to dance to. Malmsteen is a great player, not a good songwriter. Huge difference. Yeah, but when he had other people in the band, when he had good singers in the band who brought in some stuff. When he had what's his name that did Since You've Been Gone. Not Kelly Clarkson. Glenn Hughes, right? Glenn Hughes, who's recorded that song in every band he's ever been in. There's a really good live version, but of course then it's Yngwie like just completely overdoing the guitar solo, and the Rainbow version with Ritchie Blackmore. That's a great version. That's the solo. And then Impellitteri, anybody remember Impellitteri? Chris Impellitteri, another guitar god. They recorded the Since You've Been Gone with that guy too. And there's like if you go on Spotify, there's like 30 different recordings. Like that's that dude's one song. Every band he's ever been in, he's brought that song with him. Like nobody is an Yngwie fan. I bet his mom and dad aren't even Yngwie fans. That's like saying my buddy was a Lynch Mob fan. There are no Lynch Mob fans. No, for a second there, though, there were Yngwie fans. When I was in junior high and high school, every musician in the school was a huge Yngwie fan. They were trying to learn all of his different lick. Oh my God, he does this arpeggio thing and whatever rising force, blah blah blah. Who cares? Dance is a good example of songwriting versus playing. Glenn wrote all that Misfit stuff, all the Sam Hain stuff on guitar. Same with early solo stuff, but he's not a good player. Yeah. Yeah, shredders were all the rage. Oh yeah, God yeah. It's like when Brad Gillis was in Ozzy after Randy Rhoads. And he was doing all those fills and all that crazy stuff. What was that? What was the album? I don't think it's even on Spotify. What the hell's the name of that? Speak of the Devil. I don't think that album is even the live album they put out with all the Sabbath covers, and Brad Gillis is on that, and he's doing all these crazy fills and stuff. Although I gotta be honest with you, as a kid and still now, anytime Night Ranger's "Don't Tell Me You Love Me" comes on, I love that guitar solo, and I'm not a guitar player. I just something about that that guitar solo. I love it. Absolutely love it. You got to turn it up. Try thought they needed to be Yngwie fans, but they weren't actual fans. Well, yeah, because I'm a guitar player, so I got to be into Yngwie. You know, I gotta try to emulate the guitar god, douchebag Yngwie. I met him one time. I met him at Club Benet, backstage at a Joan Jett concert. Because in the mid-90s, I was managing bands, and the band I was managing was playing Club Benet, and we had to go pick up our tickets to sell. And Kyle was the guy who did all the booking. And I went to the back and met Kyle, and there was Yngwie and Joan Jett, and I said hi, and they both kind of gave me a half of a wave and went back to talking and doing whatever they were doing, and there was I met Yngwie and I met Joan Jett. Danzig also can't take a punch. Shredders are so in vogue that Kiss hired a shredder with arthritic hands. Yeah, exactly. And David Lee Roth hired one that can now plays guitar with blinking his eyes. I've seen Glenn take punches. He just didn't take that one punch from Bigfoot too well. Did Yngwie unleash the beast on you? No, he just stared indifferently at me, and then kind of gave me like one hey and the kind of thing, and then he went back to talking with whoever they were talking to. And I remember going, oh, okay, well, I guess I could tell people years from now, when Twitch is invented, I can tell people, hey, I met Yngwie Malmsteen and Joan Jett sitting next to him on a couch, one of those dirty, filthy Club Benet couches they probably all got diseases from. So really, no beasts were unleashed. I mean, it could have been before or after I got there. Oh, good times. Am I the only one who knows about Ingve's Beast breakdown video? Not sure what that is. I'm sure they all had those diseases before the couch. Yeah, but the couches mix the diseases together. You know, I think that was the main problem there. But yeah, you're probably right. A lot of that stuff is already built into their bodies. Ah, good times. Alright, I think I'm out of here. I've had enough of this fun. I'll go try to take a freaking nap. Get some writing in, people. Get some work in. Can't all be just fun and games. Ingve in a freak out on a plane and threatened to unleash the beast on someone. Is there a video of that? Can I find that on the YouTube? Ingve. I will not be on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to lunch with Michael O'Connell and Amanda Ward and a couple other Michaels. But I will say there's a chance I could be on later because I don't have therapy tomorrow. My therapist is currently in Seaside Heights on vacation. So there's a chance I'll be on tomorrow. And if I do, it'll probably be later on in the afternoon. If I'm stuck and I really need to get some writing in. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I think I'm supposed to go to dinner with my wife and her mother on Thursday as well. So, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. Actually, he says, I'll unleash the fucking fury while yelling at a woman. It is on YouTube. Well, I got to look that up. I'm sure Frank will beat me to looking that up. Everybody, thank you for hanging out. Once again, please resubscribe. Please subscribe to me on YouTube, and I appreciate everybody who's watching these afterwards. I'm getting a lot of rewatches, new watches after the fact, so I appreciate that, everybody. You have a great, great day.